Hi, this is Jessica Garcia with Brainstorming Women. Today we're here to speak with Susanna Yorchek with Better Homes and Garden Go Realty, and we're going to talk a little bit about the buying process of a home. So thanks, Susanna, for joining us today.
Absolutely.
And I've gotten some questions from clients about, okay, so now what do? I want to buy a house, right? That's my next step in my process. And so I'd love to see if you could outline that for us. Give us some
Absolutely.
help.
So, whenever you're thinking about buying, the first thing you should do is to talk to a realtor. It doesn't make any sense for a buyer to not be represented because it really doesn't cost anything. So, a seller usually pays the commission. And unless you're doing for sale by owner, but sometimes for sale by owners also do that. A realtor can talk to you about getting financed, recommend mortgage lenders and mortgage brokers. And so the first step is getting you financially there, and the realtor can help you with that. Once you have your finances in order, you need to set up a search. Okay, so your realtor will help you set up a search based on the parameters. And now, not the first, don't buy the first house you see. I mean, it takes a little while to get used to what you really want in a house. So there's this idea of what you want in a house, and as you start looking at for homes, you start realizing that actually what you really want or need in a home. You know, for example, you realize that you want an open floor plan, and things like that. So
prioritize.
So
List your priorities.
absolutely, and see if and set realistic goals. I mean, if you have $150,000 homes, make sure that you're looking at realistic places and realistic home sizes and
Amenities.
yard sizes, amenities, and
Yeah.
stuff. So being realistic is very important.
Okay, that's good.
Because there are no unicorns out there. Not that I know of.
Really?
Unicorn
None
homes.
that I can afford.
And so the second thing, once you find your home, is that you get your realtor to do a market analysis of the home to make sure that the offer that you present is a reasonable one, okay? And the house is worth what you're going to offer. When you're doing an offer, there's several things that you can negotiate. You can negotiate when you're going to close, so I always ask the seller's agent, what's the ideal closing time for your seller? You can negotiate due diligence time, and you can negotiate due diligence money and earnest money. Now, those are two monies that you will have to present with your offer. You don't have to. There is no set demand. You don't have to. But if you present a contract without due diligence money or earnest money, chances are nobody's going to take it. Okay.
So it's about goodwill. Your
Yes.
goodwill, your
You're
good
basically
intentions.
telling the seller, I am serious about your home and I'm not entirely poor. Okay. So earnest money is basically saying, I am serious and I'm not entirely poor. Due diligence money actually buys you some time to do your due diligence. So this is the money you give the seller and say, hey, if I give you this money, will you take your house off the market? And don't allow anybody else to see it, or don't accept any more contracts. And meanwhile, I'm going to do my inspections, I'm going to pursue my loan, and I'm going to get ready to buy the house. Okay?
So two pieces, the due diligence and
the
earnest money, part of the offer.
Yes, they're part of the offer, and they're usually total about 1% of the purchase price.
Okay.
Again, these are figures that are completely up to you.
And two separate checks.
And two separate checks.
Okay, all right.
The due diligence money you never, ever get back. So if you ever write a due diligence money check and the seller accepts your contract and signs and all the signatures are there, just kiss that check goodbye because you're never going to see it again. That is money that
whether you buy it or not.
Whether you buy it or not. The only time you're going to see that money back is if you close the deal. Okay? So
so is that a credit then?
It's a credit.
Purchase
Yes,
price?
yes. It reduces the price of the home.
Okay, all right.
Okay, and the same thing with the earnest money.
Yes, okay.
So the due diligence period, the due diligence money, you lose it during the due diligence period. During the due diligence period, the earnest money, you can lose it if you back out of the contract after the due diligence period.
I see. Okay.
So, say for example, it takes your lender a long time to appraise the house, and it comes back and it doesn't appraise, and it's after the due diligence period, you're going to lose that money, the earnest money and the due diligence money.
Can you negotiate the due diligence period?
You
up front?
can't. You negotiate it up front, but that date is very set in stone.
Okay.
So
So
if
once
you-
you determine it, you can't change it.
You can change it, but the seller doesn't have to agree.
I see. Okay.
So you can say, hey, my bank is late. Can you guys give us another week? And if the seller has, goodwill or whatever, he can accept it. If not, he can also say, nope, that's it. No, we won't negotiate this date. So
Right,
it's
okay.
very set on stone. It's usually 5:00 on a certain day.
Okay.
And so if you call at 5:15, you've already lost that earnest money.
Okay.
Okay.
Right, the due diligence.
The
oh,
due
but that's
diligence
already lost.
and
Yeah.
earnest
Okay.
money. Yep.
Wow. Because that's a change. It used to not be like that in
No.
North Carolina. It was simply the earnest money.
Yes.
And understanding that can get kind of muddy to
It
some
gets
people.
muddy, and sometimes it gets people upset.
Certainly.
It gets people upset because they will change their minds, and it's only been a few hours or one day, but
the
it doesn't
offer
matter
accepted.
from
Oh.
the offer being accepted. But it doesn't matter; they're still due that money to the seller.
I see.
Okay.
All right.
So, and don't get mad at your real estate agent, because that's that is the rule. And if you don't want to offer any due diligence money, if you want to do a low due diligence money, that's something that you can do. But once you promise that due diligence money, you owe that.
And so that, to me, becomes an important question when you're talking to your realtor of understanding that up front very well. Right?
Absolutely. And it's a negotiation tool too. Say for example, there are two contracts in the house, and the due diligence money
Two offers.
Two offers on this, exactly, not a contract, offers. Two offers on a house. The house lists for 305, and one offer is for 305, one is for 3010. The 3010 offers $200 due diligence period and asks for a month. The 305 offers $3,000 for due diligence money, and I've seen something like that, and it asks for 3 weeks. If I were the seller, I would take the lower offer, because anything happens, they still in a month, they still get in 3 weeks, they still get that due diligence money.
I see.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's a negotiation tool, especially when you're dealing with multiple offers, So
Interesting.
it's very interesting, and there's many pieces of an offer, and if you've got a good realtor, he or she can advise you to write a strong offer, and you can play with several things. Sometimes it's not the biggest offer that gets the house. Okay,
good to
so
know.
if you have a good realtor, there's other components to it.
Very nice. Well, thank you, Susanna.
Of course.
Very good information. Thanks for joining Brainstorming Women. And you can find us at brainstormingwomen.com. And Susanna, how do we get you?
You can find me on Facebook, Susanna Yorchek, and that's Yorchek, my check, spelled just like that. And you can also find me on Better Homes and Gardens Go Realty page, and yorchecknchome.com.
Fabulous. Thanks
Thank
again.
you.
All
Have
right.
a great day.